Today's episode is brought to you by Loadless Laundry.
Doing laundry stinks.
With Loadless, you can text to get your laundry picked up, washed, folded, and returned.
You can do random pickups or get on a reoccurring schedule.
Loadless operates on an affordable monthly subscription.
You can get $10 off your first wash by entering code ADULTBABY when you subscribe.
Check them out at GoLoadless.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, voted Long Island's best podcast by a bot farm in Russia. It's the Adult Baby Show.
I'm a sweet boy.
I'll let a girl suck any part of me. I mean, honestly.
It's just in my mouth, just...
Like, I'll try anything once.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except getting to work on time.
You just ruined my day. Fuck your day.
Oh, let's get the feet involved.
It's not a nut. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud with you.
Some people
Yeah.
are absolutely
Huh?
disgusted by me.
He ain't lying.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 335. I am B.
I'm Ryan.
And we are here together today. Unfortunately, it's a beautiful day today.
Yeah.
What, it was in the 70s today?
Yeah, it felt like it anyway.
And you all know Chic, once the weather gets nice, he don't like to stay inside. He likes to go out and do activities.
Yeah.
So, he wanted to go down to the Massapequa Preserve, get some little outdoor time. He's playing around out there, and I think he took a bike ride down to the beach.
Yeah,
he's got to be active. He can't be staying
Can't
home.
sit still. He's like, the sun's out. I got to be outside. I got to be living it up.
Yeah, so he's living it up, and
His priorities, I mean, I can't say I blame him. It's beautiful out. and
it's
you gotta-
beautiful.
If you remember last week, he said he really is contemplating his life and is he taking advantage of it? So
Yeah.
he's finally, you got to give him credit. He's finally taking the bull by the horns and he's going out there and he's living life.
Taking that first step
Yeah.
out the door.
Good for him.
So,
I mean, we miss him here. I wish he was
We miss
here
him.
today, but
Ryan, we can only hope it's cloudy next week, and
I
we
know.
get to see him.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have trouble holding him, getting him inside the house.
it's going to be a
this
rough summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's all about the weather.
Yeah. I'll check.
But he's with us in spirit. I don't
Yeah.
think he's gonna call in. By the time,
I know, because by the time it gets dark and he starts winding down from his bike ride and is exploring,
it's just not.
it's going to be a little too late.
Let him
We'll be
enjoy the
done. We'll be done
sunset.
by then. That's it. He needs it.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever seen like a real sunset, so he wants to see that.
That's his goal tonight.
That's his goal.
From the Massapequa Preserve.
Yeah. He's finally see us.
I'd probably go near the water. if I was
Well,
gonna see it,
no,
but yeah.
I think because he left the preserve and took the bike. The bike lane goes all the way down to Jones Beach.
Wow.
So he
okay.
might be checking it out from there.
All
I don't
right,
know.
good for him.
He'll recap next week.
Yeah,
But how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
Good.
I'm doing good.
I brought gifts
From Jamaica.
from Jamaica. This was supposed to be for you and Chick last week.
yeah.
Chick is just gonna have to get his next week. All right.
Okay.
This is for you. It's
Wow.
a little wooden
turtle. Turtle?
Yeah.
I love that. Is this a certain type of turtle?
It's a Jamaican. It's made out of real Jamaican wood.
You can know how I can tell it's Jamaican?
It says Jamaica.
It says
on the
Jamaica right there on the bottom.
So,
So it's like, don't even think I didn't get this from Jamaica.
yes,
It says it right there.
and it's there so to remind you of when your friend and podcast partner went to Jamaica.
I love it.
Good. Yeah,
He's gonna.
I saw those the first day they were selling them on the beach, and I was intent on coming back with gifts for you guys. So
This is a very thoughtful gift. I love I like animals.
Yes.
Even the turtle.
yeah, so I saw that and I was like, you know what, that's gonna be for Ryan. Didn't think Chick would love that. Like that just doesn't fit his
Yeah.
vibe.
Can we see what Chicks gets, or do we don't wait until he
Well,
gets it?
I'll show you because the more I'm looking at it, the more I've been holding it. I worry I got too big of a size. I had trouble finding the right size, and
Okay.
it's rude to ask somebody what size they
It
are.
is.
What size do you
That's
think
why
he is?
for last Christmas, I had a couple of shirts I saw, and I was like, I'm not even going to
It's
try.
a tough one.
And I think we talked about it, and he said what size he would normally go for, but I don't even remember
I
what
don't
that was
remember.
now.
So this is what it is. It's Bob Marley playing soccer.
Wow.
It's a cool little thing.
Yeah.
Does it look a little too big?
It looks a little big.
It covers all of me.
Yeah. What size is that?
It's a 3XL.
Ooh, that might be a little big.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big, but he's a shorter fella.
That's the problem. But when it's hanging there on the rack, they had they only had like one of the triple X. The other ones were just larges, and they had a couple of extra large.
Yeah.
Extra large just look too small, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
no, I believe it.
So, and like they just didn't have a ton of sizes. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What am I going to bring him back? A lighter?
Yeah,
it was. So I
I feel like he'll love that shirt. He
It's a
loves
nice
Bob
shirt.
Marley.
hey, maybe it'll shrink over time to fit him. I don't know.
Yeah.
You wear it as a nightgown.
I was doing some shopping last week. I'm trying to buy clothes for my trip to Florida, and I was shopping with Monique, and she's she's a smaller woman, healthy, smaller, but I would consider like a petite woman. But she was like, "Oh yeah, I was looking at. I said, how about these pants, whatever?" And she was like, "I'll get a large." And like she's getting larges on the thing, and I'm like, "That's pretty crazy that you're large." Because you see women that are certainly bigger than her. I'm like, so what size are they? Like, I feel like the whole women's size thing is crazy.
Women's sizes are off. I remember times shopping with women, for women, and never I never wrangled down the understanding.
Yeah, I know a lot of a lot of them are by number, so it's like you're size 2 or 4 or 6, actually some of the stuff was like actually get me a medium, so I was like, that makes more sense if you're, but
yeah, it's weird.
Some of the stuff she bought was large, and I'm like, it doesn't leave a lot of room.
And why go like? I guess they do have small, medium, large pants.
Yeah, I mean, some pants they do, but
some pants.
I think a lot of their jeans and stuff or whatever.
No, I'm talking about like for men.
For men, yeah. Like sweatpants and
I guess sweatpants
stuff like that.
I was gonna say because men's pants are always like 30, like those numbers. Like why put a large for a woman?
Yeah, right.
Like leave that for men. Maybe just like for women, I feel like it's more. You keep sizes. You don't have to say small, medium, large.
Yeah, right.
I feel like it's easier for a guy to be like I'm
for tops, for shirts and stuff like that. They usually.
I guess you need that.
Yeah, small, medium, large, whatever. But
I remember being tricked in the past of women's sizes.
Yeah,
it's confusing.
So I maybe you can just tie that up. You know what I mean? Or like a little by his belly. Maybe you can do that.
They sell those things. I've seen little plastic cups. Mm-hmm. It's more of like a teenage girl thing, but
why not? If he's gonna be out there in the sun,
maybe
you could do that.
I was gonna bring a new segment to the show, but I'm gonna wait until Chic's here. Plus, I have some more places to go. Tell me what you think of this idea. I've been compiling lists of places that, for whatever reason, are popular. They have a hype, some sort of hype behind them.
Okay.
Whether it could be anything, a restaurant, a television show, something that has hype. And I want to check it out and see if it passes the hype test.
Okay.
So I went to a few places in the past month that had some hype behind them.
Okay.
And I gave it my my hype check. So we're gonna
I like this.
Bring it back next week.
Yeah. So you have some in the can.
I have some in the can, and I'm gonna be in New Jersey this week. So New Jersey has a couple of. I know we're going to. There's a famous hot dog place out there.
Okay.
They do like the Jersey Rippers. What the hell is it called? Rutt's Hut. Ever hear about that?
No.
Yeah. It's got some hype behind it. Now, when I say hype, here's the thing. I know Chic is not going to know pretty much any of the stuff that I'm talking about. Because he, this is now that he gets out more, maybe. But like,
yeah. What's the algorithm? So do you see this stuff when you're scrolling through?
Yeah,
that's where you see a lot of it.
It might be. All right, I'll give an example. There's a food place in Connecticut that's like, this is Martha Stewart's favorite hot dog.
Okay.
So it could be stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
His algorithm doesn't give him stuff like that.
No, but I don't really find it from the algorithm. This is stuff I've heard through Food Network.
Okay.
Maybe I'm talking about food places.
Yeah.
Different YouTube channels, maybe.
All right.
So it's
well, there's no shortage of things that get hype and that
things
lines
get hype.
start building up.
Yeah. Another place I went to was one of these places where a line was forming out. So I have a thought about that. So so there's a bunch of stuff like that. I have
We'll review. Is it worth
a little
it?
review. Is it worth it? Yeah, I haven't thought of
come up with
a great name for it. Speaking of that, like there's a place here that I saw that was getting it's a mall restaurant. Have you heard about this restaurant? Ford's Garage.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
How is that? Mediocre.
It's fine. Yeah.
It doesn't pass the hype test because it's got.
Does it have a lot of hype? Well, I should say the first few times I went to go, they're like it's an hour and a half wait. Right. So I guess there's hype to it.
I consider. It doesn't have to be hype like the whole country knows.
Right.
Like, I'm not talking about
something
when Popeye's, the chicken sandwich.
Sure.
I feel like I'm giving only food stuff because that's what's on my mind right now. I'm hungry. But
that it generally is what gets hyped most. Is
but that
things,
stuff gets hyped. And I remember hearing when that Ford's Garage came, I guess because it was new to the island. So it got some hype where it's like people want to try.
There's more of them, right? It's national
I think they're
thing.
based out of Florida. I did some research. But it was the first one brought to Long Island. Yeah. And anytime a restaurant from out of state pops up in Long Island, lines down the block. Always, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So you went there.
I went there a while back, and I remember. So do you like onion rings?
I do.
That's like a big thing of theirs. Is that there's like this big tower of onion rings. They were really really well made. Fried onion rings. I don't typically like onion rings, but it seemed like that was one of their things. So
I don't get onion rings. Onion rings is something. Yeah, I would have to. It's not an order I get all the time.
Never get it. But when you start talking about, you start saying you got good onion rings, and
you're
acting like it's what you do here. Then like, all right, try what you got.
Yeah.
I remember. I like it. I don't know that I wouldn't wait in line for it.
No.
Again.
No. Okay.
Last time we went, and they said it was going to be a while, but we had to do some shopping in the mall, so we put our name down, did some shopping, came back, and it was great.
Perfect.
Great to eat.
Right. So it does seem like it has some
crumble. Have you been to a crumble yet?
Haven't been to a crumble. It's on my list. It's on my list.
Yeah, I'm interested to see your review on that.
Now, also, listen. Everybody hears about different stuff. So if you hear something, if Chic,
I'll certainly
and certainly if you want to get in on, if you this goes for everybody. I think this makes for fun conversation, and everybody likes to hear about stuff.
Yeah,
what a dumb
easy clips too, because I like to make clips for Instagram, and sometimes I struggle with picking what spot to do. But I feel like if you're going to do these reviews, that's an easy pick for.
It's an easy one, right?
A little clip out.
Gets people talking too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
all right, good. So that's on the list there. So what else? What else is going on with you? I feel like I've just been running my mouth for the first 7 minutes.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of interesting. I was really really hoping a Chick would show up tonight and come up with something interesting. But,
yeah.
I mean, I have I wanted to I did like one of the more inexcusable things I've ever done in my life the other day. And Monique and I were out, we got breakfast, and then we went to a bakery and got donuts.
Okay.
And we were like going nuts trying to figure out what do you think? What came to mind that you were so worried about?
You got bacon donuts.
No. I actually have never, even when I ate bacon, I never liked bacon donuts.
I've never tried that.
No, it's gross. Anyway, we both. I love a strawberry frosted donut. That's probably like my favorite donut.
Yeah, classic.
I love a Boston cream. I love glaze. I love all these things.
You like them stuffed, like jelly or Boston?
Sure. I never loved the jelly donut. It's fine. I would get one, but never. But just a straight up strawberry frosted, I just feel like
can't go wrong.
I'm just connected to my childhood. I would always eat that. So
it's an icon, American classic.
But I also hate getting the same thing as the person I'm with. So she's like, I want to get that. I'm going to get that strawberry frosted. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll get something else. So I got a Boston cream.
Mm-hmm.
So we bring them home in a little box. She doesn't really like chocolate. She doesn't not really interested in the Boston cream. So, all right, I'll get the Boston cream. So we bring home the box. We're sitting here, watch TV, open it up. Wasn't thinking. I grabbed the strawberry frosted. I just start woofing it down. Because like in my head, that's what I wanted. And like I took a couple bites. I put it down. She picked it up, took a bite. I didn't even notice she just took a bite. I went back and I just housed the rest of it. She took one bite out.
Where was she while this was
happening? Sitting right next to me.
Wait a second. She watched this all go down?
Watched me eat this donut.
She's got to speak up for herself.
That's what I told her.
I'm sorry.
I said, why would you say, what are you doing? You're eating my donut.
There's a responsibility there.
Yes.
First of all,
but she's such a kind person. She was like, you just seem like you were enjoying it so much. I didn't want to stop you from enjoying it. She's too good. You know what I mean? Like
that's a way to put it. But I mean, you gotta.
But I tell you, the guilt I felt, whether or not I stand by. She should have said something. Like I took one bite. We share everything, so one bite was to be expected. But then when I'm just housing it, she's like looking at me. I just kept picturing her. Like I didn't see her, but I kept picturing her like looking at me in my head. Like, what's this guy doing? Like he's just housing my donut.
Oh my god! And then did you?
And it wasn't until I literally finished it and looked back in the thing and just saw the Boston cream sitting there. And I know she doesn't like. And I'm like, I go, oh, I ate your donut. I go, I ate your whole donut.
Oh my god!
She was like, it's okay. She was like, I'm like, why didn't you say something? You should have stopped me. I couldn't help it. I'm like, because in my head, I'm like, I thought, I wanted the strawberry donut. That's what I must have ordered. This is what I'm going to get.
It actually bothers me more that she didn't say anything. I'm sorry. I think that's inexcusable.
I know.
Sitting there and watching somebody eat your food.
Yeah.
And not speaking up about it, that's inexcusable.
It makes me feel a little bit better, but yeah, I could not stop apologizing.
This is just a
about
lapse in memory and judgment.
And I told her, I said, stand up for yourself. Don't sit there and watch a man eat your donut.
It is,
and then
it's really a difficult.
Because I didn't want to eat your donut.
You wanted to eat.
I wanted to eat that donut. I didn't want to eat her donut. It just happened to be the donut that I wanted.
This is the problem with we share everything and she doesn't. Get what you want.
I know.
Get what you want.
I mean, at what point, what would you have said? How would you have worded it? Because she is so, she doesn't want to. I don't know why she thinks so. She would upset me. Like I'd be perfect. Like, oh my god, yeah, I'm so sorry. Here, and like I like the Boston cream. I'm willing to eat. And now I'm looking at that, and she doesn't like it. So now I'm eating the whole. Now I had two donuts because I ate the whole Boston cream. So after that, she took one bite of the Boston cream because I really don't like this. So I had to eat the whole Boston cream too.
Yeah. So it was just a day of her watching you.
And
eat
every once in a while, still I'll just bring up like, I'm sorry about that donut. Like it's been weeks, and I still would just be like, sorry about your donut.
You got to let that go. You got to let that go because this is ridiculous that she didn't say anything.
I know, right?
It really is. I mean, I don't care how nice you are. You have to speak up for yourself because this is clearly not something you're doing on purpose. You're not.
Yeah, I've never ever displayed the type of person who would do something like that. So she should have known that. But she was like, yeah, just.
And you're also not somebody that if she were to say, oh, that's my donut. Maybe do you want half?
Yeah.
You're not the type of person that'd be like, nope, all mine now.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, toots, or whatever you say.
Yeah, that's exactly that. It sounds like something I would say. I just can't imagine. Yeah, what she thinks I would like. Yeah, she's like, oh, that's actually. I actually ordered that donut. I'm like, excuse me. I'll eat whatever goddamn donut I want.
This is mine.
I know we agreed upon you having the strawberry donut, but right now I want this donut, and you'll sit there and you'll watch me goddamn eat it. I don't know what.
A man is hungry in this house.
Yeah, and he wants his strawberry frosted donut. Of all things,
you gotta. I'm also a bit surprised. A sweet tooth like you only got 2 donuts.
Well, I got one for me, and then I know, but mistakenly had the other one.
But you would think, wait, what place was this?
It was just a local bakery. Yeah.
Do they make good donuts, particularly?
I didn't think about it going in, but I went to. I like to just every once in a while, like after breakfast, go to a bakery and get a baked good. And bakeries, they turned out they were excellent donuts. And I was like, this is where to go for a donut because you're getting it fresh that day. They don't make a ton of them. Sometimes you go to a donut place and. If it's later in the day, sometimes you get leftover donuts and
you got to be careful. And
Alpine Bakery in Smithtown, excellent bakery. But
I love the smell of a bakery. You walk into a bakery that there's just some sort of a scent. I don't know if it's a buttercream, it's a chocolate mix. I don't know what it is, but it's a scent that just intoxicates.
I think maybe I brought this up on the podcast. Have you ever been inside the freezer at a bakery?
Yes.
And the smell there is
beautiful inside.
It's not the same as it's not like baked goods. It's a whole different thing. It's like
what is that?
I don't know. It's a good smell though.
Bottle it. Bottle it.
Oh my
but
god!
but I'm surprised you didn't throw a third donut in for. Hey, what if one of these donuts isn't great? You already know she doesn't like Boston cream,
right?
Like so, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not hungry. I guess you don't.
I just feel like you gotta not have too many donuts. What's funny,
Yeah.
I was actually also just talking about. Did you ever
I'm
hear?
not saying get a 12 pack of donuts.
I could polish off 3 donuts, no problem, even after breakfast.
I think a third when sharing, and one person is out on the Boston cream is not out of this world, and would have saved a lot of heartache.
Yeah, I should have just gotten the donut I wanted and then added a Boston cream to it and let her get her strawberry frosted as well.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. The place by you, that Joey's Rainbow Explosion.
Still haven't been there.
Oh my god!
Now that might have to go on my hype test. Because I haven't been there.
So good,
and it's right there.
Yeah, I was working in your area I'm still there on Thursdays, and I keep passing there, and I'm like, you know what? Let me pop in there. I haven't a couple weeks because I'm trying to lose some weight, but there was a stretch of a few weeks where I was there while I'm working.
By the way, you were talking about fresh donuts. This morning I went in and I had I was hungry for a bagel. I haven't had like a bagel in a while. So I went to Stuff a Bagel right next door to me.
Great bagels.
Yeah, very good. I'm a cinnamon raisin guy.
Sure.
But I noticed the cinnamon raisin were down to the last few, and there was everything had a full rack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went to the full rack, figuring it was hot, fresh out. I was right.
That's
and
smart move.
It was so good. I haven't had
good detective work. But
you get so used to getting. Now, Long Island has great bagels. We know this, but most of the bagels you get, have, depending on the time I get there, they've been sitting out for a little while.
Here's the thing, that's the bagel I like.
You do.
I like a firmer late in the day bagel. Wow. I would be like, you know what? Those cinnamon raisins that look like they've been there a while. I'll take one of them.
You like?
I like a dark. I'll walk out of a bagel place if I go in and there's no dark bagels there. I like a well done bagel. It's got to be dark. I want to feel like, oh, that's going to be a crunch to that. I don't want to feel like it's not going to be warm inside, where it's like.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I actually prefer day-old bagels.
That's the opposite.
I would prefer a day-old bagel. Yes. Yeah. So I wish I could call a bagel place and be like, yes, I'd like a bagel tomorrow. Can you put one to the side for me? I'm going to come in tomorrow and pick up that bagel that's been sitting out for a day.
Well, have you heard
I like to tear it.
Have you heard of Too Good to Go? I believe it's called.
You told me about that. Yeah. And I've yet to try it because I feel like
like that's right up your alley.
I would be, yeah.
This is what they don't want to throw the old bagels away.
I got to try that.
They give them to animals like you.
I downloaded the app and I haven't never used it. Yeah.
You know what? I haven't either.
Yeah. I'm
almost too embarrassed to go in and be like, "Give me your trash."
Man, pick up your old bagels.
It's just I don't know. Yeah. There's something tacky about it. I like the idea of it, but the idea of going in and being like. Throw whatever you have left in a bag.
Yeah, I'll take whatever it is
for a cheaper price. Just doesn't. It's not right.
Yeah.
But this bagel, I sometimes I'll get it toasted. I do butter, but sometimes I'll just put butter on it. Don't even toast it.
If it's warm, you could do that. Yeah.
It was warm and it melted beautifully, and it was crispy on the outside and warm and fluffy on the inside.
There's a lot of. Moving parts here because if I'm getting butter, then I want a warm bagel. Then I want a fresh warm bagel, and I'm probably going to get it toasted if it's butter. That's what. If it's cream cheese, I don't want to. When you put cream cheese on like a hot bagel, it just gets all like the cream cheese starts to melt and then it becomes a mess.
See, I don't like cream cheese. I've never had cream cheese.
So that's the difference.
So I don't understand what.
So I'm with you. I want a warm hot bagel if I'm putting butter on it. I just rarely do that. Usually it's cream cheese. If it's cream cheese, I want I want a bagel that's sitting out so I'm not melting my cream cheese. Yeah.
Man, all right.
That's good. I'm glad we got that out of the way. That's good. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm coughing like I.
I feel like there are a lot of bagel places that are on like the hype list.
Yep.
Like the city has like a few places that are nuts.
The one probably you're thinking of, I already went to it.
Is that the one you got to place an order like before you get
Some
there?
Some places you do. It's called the place I did is called Pop Up Bagel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of different cream cheeses, a lot of different.
So the I'll get into it when I do my thing next week. But yeah, it's basically you dip.
Yeah.
It's a new way of bagelry.
Okay, so is
dip
this the place you've been recently and like had in mind to do one of these, or you had been there before?
I ended up going to that place, and there's a place about a block away from that place that also has garnered some local hype.
Okay. Yeah, Bagel's a big, and then Chic went to the places up in Connecticut, the pizza places.
He did.
So
yeah.
you never been up, but you work up there a lot.
I do, but it's tough to like stop. I think it takes a little while to get a pizza from that.
Yeah,
so I'm more of I kind of got to go in and get it. If it works out where I ever had time, I would do that. But I'm actually not going up to Mohegan Sun right now anymore.
You change your route?
Nay, we had I would bring bread up there with me. Fresh bread, by the way, which
in the meat truck?
In the meat truck. From another company. And by the way, that smelled amazing.
Yeah.
The bread.
Fresh bread?
Bring like a pallet of bread up there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The bread, for whatever reason, we stopped doing that. They stopped needing the bread, I guess. And that bread pretty much paid for the gas
trip up there.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it.
So
the company's not even servicing Mohegan Sun anymore?
So we're not doing that. I think it's out.
Huh.
If it comes back, it comes back. Just I got a bunch of new stops up, not that far, but so yeah, I just don't go to Mohegan Sun anymore.
Oh, but you're up in Connecticut still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same route, same thing I always do. I was just doing that on like Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, and then it started slowing down after the bread.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, yeah, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's kind of nice because it was the summertime. They were gonna have to get another guy up there. It was just gonna be too crazy. So
yeah,
I'm kind of relieved I don't have to deal with it. It was nice once in a while waking up early, but you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
You always throw more stuff on your plate. I want to talk about our buddy Neil.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
because I thought he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
on Kill Tony.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm very proud of him.
Me too. I commented that I'm proud of him. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I think he did great. I don't understand why people watch that show.
It's a weird.
But it seems to be.
It's a weird show.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of like a kingmaker.
Yes.
To a certain point. I don't know why we gave Tony Hinchcliffe the keys to fame.
How that happened is crazy. But
I think that nobody listens to this. I remember Neil posted a few weeks ago with he said something about like, does anybody is there another way to become successful in this business without doing Kill Tony? Like he had posted that like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, there should be. And there is, but that certainly seems like a shortcut. But I'm happy that he seemed like he did as good as he could possibly do on that.
He went up there and he did what he had. He did it. He did what he does.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's being recognized for his talents.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, there is no way in these days.
Yeah.
Neil's been plugging at it forever, more than anybody.
And I think it's
he
rare.
He deserves it.
Absolutely.
So it's not a shortcut with him. You know what I mean?
I had told him. So he told me he was on it a while back. And then,
I heard he was on it. It's
yeah,
so
I had reached out to him. I was just, I hadn't talked to him in a while, and I said, how things going. And he was like, interesting, actually. I just did Kill Tony. So, and then I wrote to him. He was like, yeah, it's good. And everything went as good as it possibly could go. And I said, nobody deserves it more than you.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, that's not true, but I appreciate the sentiment. And I said, okay, sorry. I thought it was for a second. And he says, I still need to work on accepting compliments. But yeah, you talk about people that are like hitting the streets, traveling, doing the work. There might be other people that deserve it, but Neil's got to be at the top of the list of putting in work.
Out of people that I know, he's right up there.
I know.
So it's good to see. And yeah, that
I
show.
can already sense, and I wanted to text him like shotgun being the tour bus driver. Like I want that spot when you get to that point. You know what I mean? I want to be a tour bus driver. Like
that's a nice.
That's the role I'll take in your little posse.
Yeah.
Or entourage, as he would say in his act.
That show, it is interesting, and when you see somebody kind of get blown up, but Neil's a guy I'm happy for that.
Yeah, and I feel like normally the people that blow up there are the people that are kind of train wrecks to start with, and they keep coming back, and then they get a name, and then they get a little bit better, and then he just came out and it was good, and then it was the most likable I've ever thought Tony Hinchcliffe was, because he was saying nice things about my friend. So I was like, this guy's not that bad, actually. I don't like that guy at all. Like, I think he's just like a deplorable human being, but I'm like, oh, he's being nice to my buddy.
No,
all right, he's pretty. All right, he's not that bad, I guess. Which is like, it's so sad how easily won over you can be.
I know,
but
listen, I just you want your friends to do well, and that's something. It was.
I love it if you got past there. If you can play
so funny too, like how news travels about. Because like I knew he did kill Tony, like a week ago. With I heard before.
Yeah.
Too. So I like people just you hear these things, and I'm like, all right. I'm sure, and I knew I was like, it had to have gone well.
Yeah,
like I just don't see how it doesn't go well.
I wish during the interview part, he didn't sell himself enough to me. Like there was like, oh, what do you do? And like he was being so modest or whatever.
That's Neil, though.
I wanted to be like, I wish I could have stepped in and be like, this is one of the more interesting people you're ever going to meet in your life. Like the stories that he's got and the life that he's lived, and like, oh, what makes you interesting? What kind of things have you done in your life? And what do you, hobbies? And he's like, I like baseball. Like that's literally the most boring thing about you is that you like baseball. Like tell the stories about when you used to run illegal gambling rooms and used to like
baseball.
And he's told those, like he told it on the radio a while back, and I was like, yeah, like I'm listening to him tell these stories about that. I'm like, who wouldn't be fascinated by this guy and his stories?
When he was on Jim and Sam, he was telling great stories.
I'm like, tell those stories on this huge platform. Like this thing's got 1 million views right now. Like,
but it worked, and
it's great. I just like when they're like, tell me about yourself. I'm like, oh, here we go.
They had
and he's
to
like, I don't know, I like baseball. What?
They had to like pull stuff out of him.
I know.
But when he comes on the podcast too, like I remember he was the same way. He has all these stories, and
he doesn't want to seem like he wants to be a cool guy. You know what I mean? And he feels like if he goes around being like, I did this, I did that, then like he wants to do things and just have him be like, yeah, I did that, big deal. Because it's cool to do things and not even act like it's a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what he wants. He wants to be the cool guy who's like, yeah, I did all that stuff, and like I forgot more cool stuff than you've ever done. Yeah, that's the guy he wants to be.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, he likes baseball too.
But at least now he's got like when he gets, he might end up on Joe Rogan at some point, which again, another guy I don't particularly like, but I would love if he did it. Like, I think he'd be great on that show. Like, it might be down the line, but he's certainly the wheels are in motion for that to happen.
100%.
And at least now he's got those stories on that. Like he would be an interesting guest for that.
He's built for it. He's built for. He's ready for whatever happens. He's done the work.
Yeah,
he's got great stories. Whatever comes his way, he's gonna handle it. That's why
I was happy that he got into the music thing. That was more interesting. But like 100%. They kind of had to pull that out of him a little bit. But then those clips started coming around with him singing with Taking Back Sunday. So and one of the judges seemed to be a Taking Back Sunday fan. So
and that guy, I've never heard of that guy. Did you know him?
No, I don't
Tim
know.
Butterly.
Mm-mm.
I thought he was
Some
very
name,
it's a tasty name.
Yeah.
I thought he was very funny and likable, that guy, from what I saw on there. And I listened to his podcast. It was pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
So I didn't know who that was, but he seems to be a pretty popular guy, and now I'm a fan of his too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. I feel like they, when you talk about, you said I have a gold record. I'm like, that's notable. And you got this guy on stage that, was in a band. And
I'm glad he got to that point.
Yeah.
So that's good. So happy for.
So congratulations,
for
Neil. We'll never be back on this podcast again because of that.
I guess he's too big.
I already feel like I've always felt like I don't text him as much as I want because I feel like I don't want to bother him.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like he's not the type of guy that is bothered. Like I think he's on the road a lot, and I just always assume he's out doing cool stuff.
Me too.
And I think that he is not. Is like he travels a lot in between places.
Yeah.
So if Neil's listening to this, like I I don't text you not because I'm not thinking about you, because I'm like, I don't want. He doesn't want to. I don't want to bother him. He's doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, if you're ever Neil, if you're ever out there and you're bored, you could text us.
Yeah, my phone called him by accident the other day. I was working and I was delivering to a place, and this guy was trying to tell me something, and he didn't speak English, but he thought he did. You ever deal with those guys? So, like, they talk to you like they speak English, and you're like, I know you think that you learned the language, but you're not anywhere close to it.
Yeah.
So like he's telling me a bunch of stuff, and I'm walking out, and I got my AirPod in, which has my my Siri in it. Shut up. So I'm walking away, and I mumble to myself, I don't know what the fuck this guy's saying. And then my AirPod goes, calling Neil Rubenstein. And I go, what the fuck? I didn't set that command.
Weird.
Like, oh yeah, when I say this sentence, call Neil. So it just ended up calling him, and then I hung up before he can answer. But most people like to see a call. He called me back. So we talked for a little bit. I said, yeah, my phone actually called you by accident, but it's nice to hear from you. Sometimes if I get their phone, there's an option that you can reach out and you can call somebody rather than just texting somebody.
Right.
And I think he does like to talk when he's on drives, somebody to keep him busy.
Makes sense.
So
you get bored driving across the country.
Yeah, but now I'm already feeling like he's like, he's ticked up a little bit. Now I'm feeling like I don't even have a place. I don't have a place to call him because he's going to be too big for me.
He's too big for us.
Yeah. I'm happy to have the time that I've had with Neil over the time.
It was great. He was. There was a time he was basically a member on this podcast.
Yeah, we've got hours of us talking to Neil. I got me and Neil sitting down and talking about different things. So there's when people go back and look at Neil's early work, they're gonna see.
They're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So I'm going on I'm doing a bachelor party this weekend. I was supposed to go to see the women's hockey game, the Sirens. That was the plan. Yeah, I thought
team for a hockey. Where do they who do they represent?
They represent New York.
The New York Sirens.
But they play in New Jersey at the Prudential Center.
Huh.
But unfortunately, because of the Devils game, which now they got, I guess they lost. So that game, they were supposed to play on Friday. The Devils, I guess, playoffs.
Yeah.
So they moved
playoffs.
They moved the Sirens game to Saturday, and I'm only going to be there for one night, so I won't be there for the women's hockey.
A friend of yours?
Yeah,
obviously,
Nick Labrisi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, good. He's been on the podcast.
Yeah, I like Nick.
Yeah, good guy. So he's getting married.
Yeah,
and
I miss hanging out with him. We used to, we did Governors around the same time, and
yes.
I always enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah,
good
he's
taste
great.
in music.
So I'm looking forward to getting to New Jersey.
Now she does comedy too. His wife, but did she start after him? Is that what
after him?
So
after him. And we did our own. We were doing like breweries for a while.
And you did a thing at QED together.
Yeah, we ran a Sunday show up against one of the seasons of Game of Thrones.
That's right. Yeah.
I think
please tell Nick I said hi and congratulations when you talk to him, would you?
Oh, yeah. So I'm doing that this weekend. And we're staying at a famous comedian's house from New Jersey.
Rich Voss?
Nope. Now, I don't know whose we're staying at, but it's a comedy team. I always forget their name. Who's on first?
Abbott and Costello?
Abbott and Costello.
You're staying in the Abbott and Costello house?
I think we're staying at Costello's house.
Oh, they didn't live together?
No.
Yeah.
And I think he lived there probably, I don't know, years and years ago. But that's where we're staying. And
is them, right? Who's on first? Is Abbott and Costello, right?
I believe so.
I've been reading or listening to a book. Actually, I finished it a while back. Do you like Charlie Kaufman?
Yes.
Remind
me.
He wrote a bunch of movies. He wrote Being John Malkovich.
Okay.
He wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Schenectady, New York, whatever. He writes like real weird movies. So he wrote his first novel, and it's like the novel was 30 days long or whatever. Like it took fucking forever to read this thing. It wasn't 30 days, but it was a long book. And but in it, he writes a lot of Abbott and Costello bits. Like it's
like his version of it.
Yeah, like he just like in it. It's about a movie critic who finds this filmmaker in Florida, and he's made a 3-month-long movie. It's the longest movie ever made. And he watches it and he loves it, and then he ends up whatever. It's a lot of the book is him telling the story of this movie. In this movie, Abbott and Costello is in this movie, so he's writing a bunch of things. But it's so funny. It made me realize like how funny. Well, first, it was like they were funny skits, and I used to love Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, we can't get their name right.
Abbott and Costello, but
what's their first names?
Lou Abbott and Costello. Something Costello.
Lou Costello.
Lou Costello.
They're both Lou's?
No.
Two Lou's?
There's one of them is Lou. Abbott and Costello. Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Okay, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Yeah.
I believe I'm staying at Lou Costello's house. But it could be Bud's. Who the hell?
But there's like a couple of weird coincidences lately.
Okay.
I don't know where I started using the term puts me in mind of instead of that reminds me of.
Okay. Puts me in mind.
Yeah. And I thought it'd make me sound smarter. So I would be like, oh, that puts me in mind of when this happened.
I got it. Yeah.
You ever heard that phrase? But
Yeah.
I used it a few times and I go, am I using it right? Is that really a thing? So I started second guessing myself.
When you say it slow, like you first said it, the words didn't make sense.
Yeah. So I don't know what made me start to say this, I guess, other than being pretentious.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like the way it sounds.
So say it again.
That puts me in mind of...
That puts me in mind of the time I ate a donut
Yeah, right.
that I shouldn't have.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah. It brings me back to when this happened. Yeah. So I'm like, I was always like, I feel like I'm not using that right, or maybe I shouldn't be using this. And I have a history. My father and my grandfather both would use phrases and words incorrectly because they wanted to sound smart, and I feel like I might be following their footsteps.
Yeah.
So I was concerned about that. So then I start listening to this book by Charlie Kaufman, and he starts saying that phrase. He says that phrase maybe 60 times in the book. That
Really?
puts me in mind of. And I'm like, I started saying this before I read this book, and now this book, and it's littered with this phrase.
That's
I'm like,
weird.
that's a weird coincidence, right?
Huh. When
Yeah.
something like that happens, do you feel like I have to read this book? I'm meant to read this book? Or do
I
you,
kind of did think about. I don't do a lot of that like fantastic
I
thinking,
do.
but every once in a while I let it sneak in. I'm like, I feel like, but then the book ended up falling apart at the end. And I was loving the book. The first 3/4 of the book, I was like, this is unbelievable. I'm loving this, and then it just all fell apart, and I was
so
disappointed about
you
that.
don't recommend?
I would not recommend the book. No, and the problem is I'd already recommended the book like halfway into somebody, and
Yeah,
like,
you gotta
they
be
ended
careful
up,
with
yeah,
that. You gotta follow it through. Many a book I have put aside.
yeah,
I've left behind
yeah,
because they just don't do it for me.
yeah.
By the way, I was thinking of like that phrase, how that would easily, my mind starts to wander with stuff like that. Where if that had happened to me and I'm reading a book and that coincidence happened, like I said, I would feel like that something out there is telling me I must read this now.
Yeah.
I do this all the time where I build up stories in my head. Like on the way here, I'm listening to just a random radio station, 104.5. I don't know what it is, right? And the DJ gets on and she goes, all right, guys, I'm signing off, but the next, Christine is coming up. It's her first day of work. This is her first shift. And I'm like, well, now I gotta
hear what Christina's.
I gotta see what it's like.
Yeah.
Right? You know? And they're playing this song and I'm like, all right, what is it? And in my head, I'm like, this must be so exciting for this girl. I'm thinking she's a young girl, right out of college, you know, and this is her first job. And they're like, you know, it's not a big radio station. It's 104.5. Maybe it's a radio station out on Long Island, but look, here I am. Her family's listening to this now, right? I'm like, I got to support this woman.
Yeah.
I got to support this station.
Yeah.
And I'm listening, and it's holy. I'm like, oh, gee, it's Christian rock I'm listening to.
Really?
Right? So I'm kind of like not hating the song. I'm like, I'm not.
Your taste in music is suspect, though.
Well, I'm not loving it, but I'm like, I'm already like set. I'm gonna listen to Christina's first day on the air, right? I'm all the excitement.
The potential is you might actually start following this woman's career, but then when they heard the Christian music, probably that
Well, then my mind took another turn.
Yeah.
This is and I was thinking about this, what I would do, and I was going to ask you what you would do in this situation, because now I'm thinking, oh, it's her first day on the job, Christian rock. Christina, she's right out of college, but she's got, it's hard to get a job in radio. She wants to be in New York, but this station, it's a Christian rock station in New York. They say they're going to hire Christina. And she's like, all right. And they're like, but wait, it is a Christian rock station. Are you going to be okay with that?
I love this.
And so my question is like if I'm starting my career in radio and the only option is Christian rock, but I have a time slot here Wednesday night at 6:00, do I take it? And would you take it? What do you?
I would not take it. I definitely would not take it.
Yeah, that's what it came to me. I was like, yeah, I just can't, because I feel like you gotta. It might just be an automatic playlist at this point. Yeah, but I feel like you gotta vibe with the music.
You do. I think most interested that you just put on the radio. Like you get in the car and just put on the radio station.
I'm a radio guy.
Yeah, that's crazy to me that you let somebody else pick what you're going to listen to, and then you end up on a station that you don't even know what it is.
It was a weird circumstance.
Yeah.
I was listening to WFAN, the station I sometimes
email. Yeah.
And I just kind of went up the dial, and so, I'll give it what I do is this. I go 101.9, and then I'll go 102.3, 102.7, 103. I do like the kind of the big dogs of the radio station that I would imagine. If there's a song on there I like, I'll let it play out, and then maybe I'll switch to a podcast or my iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what your goal is in radio. If you just want to move up the ladder and you want to get into business, I mean, first of all, I also think it's funny that a young person wants to get into regular radio. So, like, that's right. It's dying. It's not. That's the way you're going to start your career. Well, I mean, I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I wanted to get into radio, but while I went there, the economy collapsed and everything went to podcasting. So it was like, well, I picked the wrong time to do it.
You did.
I gave up on it 15 years ago because the industry died.
Yeah. So I guess now Christina, right out of college, she's, but I'm still invested in this stupid thing.
Yeah.
So I'm listening, and by the time Christina's on, I've listened to like 3 or 4 Christian rock songs. And by the way, they all suck.
Yes.
All right. They don't pass the vibe test.
At least she's,
No, because the first one I was listening to, and I didn't realize it was like Christian rock until I heard like holy whatever. So then they go back, and I'm like, what is this? And it's called K-Love, and it's like a pretty big radio station. I think
K-Love, I've seen that
throughout the country.
I've seen
it's
that
like
written.
Their whole thing is called Positivity.
See, now I think they are also owned. I think it's like BLI. And
yes,
they're the same owner.
It's under the
So
it's under
again,
BLI.
it depends on what you want. If she wants to get into BLI, then get in the company. Now you're in the company. Now you can just bounce over and you can be a BLI.
But maybe it's good experience.
Yeah,
I don't love it, but let me do this for a year, get the whole feel of radio.
Maybe she wants to be on BLI. Like, listen, we can't send you right there, but this is our little farm system. This is we make sure you can handle this, and then we can move you up, and then you take that.
You take that.
None of that has anything to do with what I would want to do. So
no, true. And also, this whole story that I thought up in my head out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Finally, Christina gets on. Christina I think she's 72 years old.
Oh, yeah?
So it might be, I don't know what she's doing.
She just sounded older?
She sounded older, and she goes, her first words were hi guys, I'm Christina, and I got to tell you about a story that happened to me in the grocery store. But first now, the Power of Christ song, whatever. So I'm like, we don't even get an intro? Like, that's what you give me? So it was a waste of time and imagination for nothing. But
I am a big backstory creator. I'll see anything, any little thing. I'll see a couple at a table next to me during dinner.
Yeah,
and I create a whole backstory. I'm always doing that. Yeah.
I am creating people's minds and lives in my head every day.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it's out of boredom or if I'm just insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I do that all the time. And I thought it was, that's like one example on the way here.
Yeah, no. And, you know, when you're alone all day at work, you think about stuff.
This is what people call as psychosis, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what it is?
Maybe, yeah.
Where you start forming stories.
Yeah. But I didn't realize that the fan is on an FM station now, huh? They moved from 660? How long ago they moved
Years
from 660?
ago.
Was it?
Years ago. They're on 101.9 now.
FM.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's still,
I beg of you, if you get in the car and listen to a radio station, have you considered 90.7?
that's low on the dial for me, no.
Give that a shot.
What is that?
WFUV. It's Fordham University's radio station.
And we get it clear?
You might get it clear out by you, and certainly it's in the city, so the closer you get, and then up to Connecticut, you're going to get it, while you're working, you're going to get it pretty clear from where you are going into the city.
All right,
sure.
I'll check that out.
Great music. They play great stuff. I've discovered
Fordham.
I've discovered bands listening to that. It's college radio. It's good stuff.
That's good. I would check that out. I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
90.7.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind regular radio still because I love talk radio. I love talk radio.
There's two different things though.
There's a time and but I you know, you need that burst of energy from music every once in a while too.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place, like Chic is always on the Spotify, just it's nonstop.
Apple Music, I think you would.
Yeah, you're right. It's Apple
exception
Music.
to that. Yes, Apple Music.
It is. He's nonstop Apple Music, and it's just going all the time. I can't do that all day.
Yeah.
All right, I can't. I need to. There's got to be like I'll do an hour of a podcast. I need to listen to a story. I need to do some sports, and then all right, I'm feeling good. Let me turn down the window and play some tunes. Yeah, that's the way I do it. I can't do all the one thing.
Yeah,
you know. But sometimes you go through the dial.
I think maybe I said this, but like when I first got a job driving a truck, and I love music, so I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna get to listen to music all day, pick out all different, make playlists, and bring my CDs with me. At the time, it was still CDs. And then after 2 weeks, it was like, I don't know what to listen to. I can't just keep listening to music. So that's when I was like, let me check out this talk radio. I've always been interested in
I think that's why. I think just if you're driving all day,
and then if you like comedy, like back in the day, I was like, I'd always heard about the comics I liked being on Opie and Anthony. I'm like, I want to check out these Opie and Anthony guys. I mean, Brian Regan used to go on there. It's like, let me check that out. And then that was when it all.
And now they have all those old stuff on YouTube. We've talked about this before. You can go back and listen to all those old shows, which is always interesting to hear. You know,
this might not be that interesting. I'm gonna because this is like when I said like this. Puts me in mind of what's going on over there. What do you look?
No, there's like all the bottles and stuff over there. Yeah, what is that? Is that vodka?
No, there's Pellegrino. There's a root beer bottle can.
I thought you started drinking or something.
No, it's just all water. It's all
types of water.
There's
like a little nip over there.
Yeah, that's a Topo Coco.
No,
this one.
Nope. Behind the can.
Oh, that little one. That's just that's flavor for the soda stream.
Oh, okay.
You put a little bit of that in the soda stream, then you get a little flavor.
You like that soda stream?
That does look like
it.
Does. Like a little travel vodka.
It looks like you got a little travel Smirnoff over there.
Yeah,
and I'm like I was a little worried.
No,
you're stealing people's food. You're drinking.
It's just a soda stream.
It's just a what? Yeah. What flavor is that? Cherry or something?
I think cherry. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the soda stream. Yeah,
I feel like that's something that would get old for me.
So I've had that for years, and I used it a little bit at the beginning, and then I just forgot about it. And I recently just pulled it out. I'm like, let me mix things up a little bit because I do like a club soda.
Maybe I'll check that out one of these days. Yeah, I haven't. I've never tried it.
I prefer it without a flavor. And to be honest, I just like some bubbles. In it. I just like salt. I like straight up seltzer water.
You just put water in there.
You put water in a bottle, and then you stuff it up this thing. And
Can you put tap water in there, or you don't want tap water? Does it like change, make it nice?
You can use, if you drink your tap water, then it's going to be just, do you use filtered water or you buy bottled water?
I buy bottled water.
So I just have a Brita filter. So I fill it up with my Brita.
Maybe I should get a Brita filter.
You should get a Brita filter.
They work good, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I taste the difference, but
Okay. All right. So what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
It's not very interesting, but it puts me in mind of another coincidence that happened. I went to go see. A buddy of mine was like, "Oh, you want to go see this concert with me?" I don't know who the band was. And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." I haven't seen. He lives in Connecticut. I don't get to see him very often. I said, "Yeah, I'll go." Went and checked out the concert, and then during the concert, I heard the song. I'm like, "Oh, I know this song. Where do I know this song from?" And I couldn't place it. I was like, God damn, why do I guess I do know this guy. Couldn't think of it. And then the next day, I'm going through my hard drive, and I've got thousands of videos on my hard drive, and I want to just start organizing it. So I'm just like going through different files, and I just started, and I'm like, all right, let me check out this one. So I'm playing a video, and I had made a video years ago about, it was just me and Cheryl, and I put music to it, whatever. And then I'm listening to it, and this song starts playing. I made that video 15 years ago, and like the night I go to a concert, I hear this song. I'm like, where do I know this from? Completely randomly. I'm not looking for the song. I'm not trying to do it. I'm just organizing my videos, and I click on the video, and I'm like, oh, that's why I know the song, because I put it in this video 15 years ago.
What's going on?
That's a little fucking nuts, isn't it? That like that
you're tapping
randomly.
You're tapping into something.
I'm firing on all cylinders here.
Yeah, no, you're tapping in.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention. You got to pay attention because signs are being thrown at you.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, and I don't think you do either. But you gotta look. You gotta figure it out.
Strike while the iron's hot.
It means something. I don't know what it means, but
yeah,
that's interesting. Who was the musician?
The song is called "Only Wanna." What was it called? Hold on, I wrote it down. Only want to be myself. Only want to be myself when I'm with you. Let's see if I can find it. And then,
do you know the artist's name?
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. You just sit there for a goddamn second.
I'm on edge to see what's gonna hit you next.
Jesus,
it's like lightning keeps striking you.
Yeah. Hold on, let me use this. Only want to be myself when I'm with you.
Looks like you're actually talking to your phone.
I don't. Maybe I don't. There's something. I really can't spend much more time looking for this.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's what do you use? Do you use Spotify?
I use Apple Music too. Am I gonna have to cut this part out? What are you looking up?
The same thing on Spotify because Spotify is better.
Because you would think of like, even though if I'm getting it wrong, it would be there, but no,
I
it's
guess
not. Anyway, it's kind of like a Christian folk band.
Christian folk,
yeah.
Huh? Jesus Christ! Hey, another coincidence. I'm listening to Christian rock.
Yeah, I didn't really love the concert, to be honest with you, but I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
I bet if you sit and I found it. Hootie and the Blowfish.
No, that's not. No, it's not. That's what I must have wrote down the wrong name of the song.
Yeah.
But oh God. I'm like, no. Do you ever do this where you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'll stop looking, and then you just keep looking.
Well, you get obsessed.
Yeah.
But I think whatever is happening to you, if you just sort of stare into space, something's going to hit you, and you might just know it. I'll probably say something, and I'll accidentally say the name of the song with the way lightning has been striking you.
Yeah.
You put up.
Drew Holcomb.
Drew Holcomb.
Drew Holcomb. Let's look it up. I'm sorry. This is.
I mean, at this
people
point,
people can tune out. Like, you know, feel free to
listen. We already last.
I like to be with me when I'm with you. That's the reason.
God. So this guy's
totally.
He says things pretentious like you.
Yeah. Well, that's just coming through there.
If I won $1 million, I'd give it away to spend more time with you.
That's it.
That's nice.
Yeah. Sounds like something you'd like. It's Irish. Sounds like maybe he's Irish.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. That was not worth it. Anyway,
No.
so no, wasn't. But
That's all right.
a weird coincidence. Yeah.
A lot of weird coincidence happening with
Yeah.
you. You know, speaking of the fans listening, I think half the fan base taps out when Chick isn't here anyway. So
Yeah, I know.
you know, Chick holds.
I think
a lot of
I
weight.
lost a lot of my when I think at the election I got like I made like a couple of political statements. I think we lost a lot of people then. Because I looked at the numbers and it seems like right around there was a big dive.
Oh, see, that's
Yeah.
why politics stay out of podcasting for me.
You know.
You just don't bring it in.
Yeah. What are you gonna
Right? We can't get them back now.
No, there's no way to plead with them if they're not listening. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? All right. Well, listen, you have all this videotape for us, but you're losing us listeners. That's
I'm
nice
not
to
helping.
know.
I'm kind of working backwards. But
So you're telling me it was better when I just had a phone and
Yeah.
me and Chick were screaming?
yeah, and you had your little crew of people listening. Yeah.
I gave Jack Adam my. I let him borrow my GoPro, which basically means he has it now.
Yeah.
He already. I went away to Jamaica, and my GoPro's been sitting, collecting dust. So Jack, I know he had his eyes on it, and he's like, "You mind if I borrow it while you're away?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then when I saw him, he goes, "I ordered a 60-piece headgear for it." So I'm like, "Oh, you're planning on keeping this, aren't you?"
Headgear for the yeah. So you can wear the thing.
GoPro,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you attach it
Right,
to your
yeah.
head.
I got all that stuff. I never use that either.
Yeah. That's why I never used the whole thing. But I was like, "Oh, you fully intended."
What's funny
on keeping
is
this.
like, oh, can I use your GoPro? Why when you go to Jamaica? It's like that would be the time for you to use your GoPro.
Yeah.
You should have brought that to
But
Jamaica.
he knows
with
I'm
you.
not using it.
Yeah.
But I asked him, I was like, was anything on there? Like, did I have anything?
Yeah.
You know, I know what could I do with my GoPro, you know, but
Yeah.
he goes, yeah, there was a whole Adult Babies podcast with you and Chick, but I shot it in time release. So it's just pictures. So I'm like, all right,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
see, that
hilarious.
shows you how much little I know about
That's
that
funny.
camera.
Yeah.
Mhm. Any word from these guys?
No. And I keep seeing other places that have the new thing up with
Yeah.
the new logo, like the 4-leaf, and it says best of. I'm like, so they're out there.
They're
People are
out
getting
there.
their signage,
Interesting.
and they haven't even mentioned it to us.
All right,
I think
well,
they hate us. Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess we're about it.
We're over an hour. We're
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
This is
can wrap
good. I'm
these up.
glad we got it in.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's weather isn't as nice next week. Get Chick stop playing outdoors or whatever he's doing. All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
If you made it this far, we'll see you later.
Thank you so much. Bye.